Vanakkam, Namaste, hi and welcome. When rhythm, culture and devotion come together, magic happens. This is exactly what Montreal Natyanjali is all about. Let's meet a couple of the amazing people behind it.
My name is Deepa Nallappan. I'm the artistic director of Param Arts and founder of Montreal Natyanjali.
I'm Kirthana Palaniswamy. I'm a board member of Param Arts since 2016.
Welcome and nice to have you both. Deepa and Kirthana, once more, Param Arts presents Montreal Natyanjali 2026. This is the 11th edition, proudly brings together artists across Canada and North America. This year is happening on March 28th on Saturday from 3 p.m. at 9155 St. Hubert, Montreal. So once we talk about Natyanjali, everyone knows Natyanjali is known for bringing together diverse Indian classical art form. So how do you feel witnessing unity in diversity on one stage, especially here in Montreal?
I think that was one of the purpose of introducing Montreal Natyanjali, a stage where we could actually bring all the Indian classical art forms together. And we are very lucky, and year after year it's growing, and we see how all the art forms are flourishing, growing, at the same time bringing the artists together.
Awesome.
What's amazing is, there's Kathak, Odissi, Kuchipudi. They all collaborate. We've seen multiple collaborations from many cities. So it truly symbols as art is the anchor where everyone speaks the same language. So that's something we have been witnessing, and we want to continue to witness and give it to the audience.
Awesome. With that being said, that leads me to ask you the next question, especially with all the young upcoming dancers in foreign countries. When you see Bharatanatyam, Kathak, Odissi in one stage, and each dance form carries centuries of traditions, right? So what do you think, how a performer is balancing, preserving authenticity while engaging a modern global audience?
Again, rooted to the core tradition of these art forms, I think it's so important to share it with the global audience. Art forms which has been originated from India, bringing it to a stage like Montreal Natyanjali in a place like Canada, I think it's an expectations and also and way of showing our culture to the global audience. At the same time, making the artists being empowered to tell stories through these traditional art forms is also one of the reasons that we want to bring together all of them in one stage.
That's good.
I echo Deepaka's words.
All right, thank you. So now for any young or aspiring dancers watching today, what kind of message does Natyanjali convey? And how does platform like Natyanjali helps an upcoming dancer or an experienced artist? And how do you think it helps them with their growth and transformation over time? Also, why should one come forward and participate in Natyanjali?
That's a beautiful question. And that roots to the reason why we wanted to bring Montreal Natyanjali 10 years ago. I think it's so important in the place where we are right now, in a place like Montreal, where the art community is very narrow, very small. We don't really have a lot of artists in Montreal and across Canada. And this stage was created with the sense of bringing all the artists together in one space. At the same time, giving them an opportunity to see and appreciate different art forms. Learning under one guru is one way of learning, and it's very different when we are learning in India because the exposure is huge. You would just walk down the street or go to a temple, you have an opportunity to watch so many performers, and that's one way of young minds and the artists to be inspired to be in this path, which is very rare to find in Montreal. And year after year, what we have seen is that the Montreal Natyanjali is mostly looked forward by my students, of course, and also many young minds who are now are in a mindset to, we want to volunteer, we want to see who's coming, we want to see who's performing, kind of an enthusiasm. And that's what we want to build, and also build that to be a stage where they can aspire to be one day. And that needs a lot of dedication, that needs a lot of sincerity towards the art form, practicing. And that's what I think we are trying our best to inculcate in the young minds. And I see there is a hope. I see there is a change. I see there's a lot of kids who really want to be there in that stage one day. And we really want them there one day.
That's awesome. I think that's beautifully said. That is literally what Natyanjali is all about. Go ahead, Kirthana.
In addition to that, we have been focusing until the 9th year on dancers, on artists, young, senior, many kinds of art forms. Since last year, we also started bringing the musicians by giving live shows. So when we say artists, for us, it's dancers, every single musician, from a nattuvanganist, miridangam, tabla, everybody. So it's very nice to see them all unite. They have been working very hard, doing plenty of rehearsals for Natyanjali. So it's very nice to see them working together.
That's literally an opportunity for everybody to stage their talent, right? So this also leads me to ask you, Natyanjali, this platform literally goes beyond borders. So how has Natyanjali helped you connect artists between Canadian cities and beyond borders?
I think the first year that we did was mostly focused on what Montreal artists were.
Yeah.
And then as we moved on, by second and the third year, we had this vision of why it has to be confined only within Montreal. Why don't we open doors across Montreal? And then we started welcoming artists from Ottawa, from Toronto. And I'm proud to say that we are able to accommodate most of the cities across Canada from last year. And we are also fortunate that there is so much of interest and enthusiasm coming from North America, where artists are looking for this festival that is happening year after year. And we do get applications from North America artists also. So we want to accommodate them as well. So there is a varied line of artists that you would see from different cities. At the same time, like Kirthana said, we really are encouraging bringing live performances into Montreal Natyanjali. One of the things that we are very consciously making an effort. I think there's a long way to go, I would say. At the same time, we are seeing the engagement among the artists. It's completely beautiful, and it's making everybody from different artistic background to come together. I see musicians from Toronto also coming to Montreal Natyanjali. I see a Nattuvanar from Montreal supporting an artist from Ottawa. And that's beautiful. And that's exactly what we wanted to establish through Montreal Natyanjali. So, yeah. I think I really feel this artistic engagement is really, really growing, and we want to keep it, and hopefully we can.
Keep going.
Well, I think, it's amazing to see that our program has reached artists outside Canada. On one side, it's amazing. We have been able to bring few artists from the US. Obviously, the logistics becomes a bit more challenging. Right, to coordinate with live musicians and all, but we have an amazing team who has been helping us in a great way all this time.
Keep going, guys. You guys are doing a good job. So that leads me to ask you another question regarding this. Natyanjali is also, as we all know, known for the diverse of bringing Indian classical dance forms together. And they also say, you need to have a great team to make your dream come true. So I personally know there is a great team of talents working behind Natyanjali. Sure. So that's being said, tell me, what are the trials and labors Rise bringing forth Natyanjali in Montreal, and how do you push that forward to become a joyful success?
Yeah. That's a very beautiful question, and at the same time, a question that I have to acknowledge and say that yes, there's this wonderful team that's involved in making this festival year after year. It's not just a team. I see that they are artists themselves, and at the same time, they carry the same passion and vision. We share the same thing, and that makes it a little more easy for us. In terms of the amount of effort that goes in, yeah, it's quite a bit. So we start working from September, October, we start discussing, and then our effort starts from there, where we push out for registration forms, where we have to work on who's registered, shortlisted artists, and then the intensity of that effort becomes more intense as we come close to the date. Now, I think almost all of us who are also practitioners and artists managing our own life along with it, we are also trying to give that extra effort to make it this a success. And I really owe it to each of these board members who are making it. At the same time, I should also acknowledge that there's a lot of love and support that we receive from the community members who are continue to come back to be volunteers, to support us, sponsors who are actually believing in our vision and sponsoring us year after year. I think that's a huge support that we hear. And also from last year, we've been working very hard towards being recognized under different grant boards, and we were lucky to work with a company like Tisri Dunia Theatre, who actually mentored us to be able to apply for grants, and through them we were able to get Council des Arts, the Montreal grant last year and even this year. And there's a combined effort that we are seeing, and also the enthusiasm among the young people around us who are asking, oh, when is it happening? We want to be there, kind of thing. I think that's all makes this possible, and I'm sure Kirthana has more points.
Go ahead.
Most definitely, we need to acknowledge the logistics behind organizing an event. Especially, the goal is to unite artists, be it local or across provinces. So, finding the talent and making sure they are part of the organization. And what we're trying to do is making sure everyone, a volunteer, any partner, feel they're part of the objective. So like Deepa said, that makes it easy. Even though it's labor intensive, that makes us ride along all the storms leading up to, we have 1 week left for the program, so we can't wait for it. And after that, we hope it's going to be a true pleasure for everybody who participated and the audience.
I think so too. Isn't it a beautiful feeling? Not only art lovers, but you also get support from the best well-wishers and from the community itself. So, being myself being an art lover and a dancer and passion for Bharatanatyam, one of my dreams is to perform at Chidambaram for Natyanjali. And I also have had the privilege to be part of Natyanjali Montreal in 2020, and my students were honored to perform as well. So I know the process, but for those who's watching and would love to be part of Natyanjali in the future, can you walk us through the application and selection process for Natyanjali, and particularly what are the qualities you look for when you're choosing performers for Natyanjali?
Okay. Yes, we had the pleasure of having Nirupa and her students perform, and I remember very well Nirupa performing, and even today one of the audience keep asking her, are you going to perform this year or next year? I remember that. So selection process starts somewhere in, I think, December. I think we start rolling out around October, November, and the deadline is around December. We give enough time for the artist to apply. I think I should put it in a way that we also want to see that this is actually making the participants or the artist across a very serious effort to be part of it, because we've been organizing this, which is not an easy effort on the first on the first forefront. At the same time, we want to also show the young generations of the artists that it really takes a lot of effort, sincerity, and and discipline in practicing an art form. If someone wants to be in the stage, and it's just one of the stage, Montreal Natyanjali, we do have, there are many stages across the world. And that's a kind of I would say, a criteria that we are setting so that the students who are learning an art form would feel that, oh yeah, I need to work a little more harder. I need to give a little more discipline in my practice. I need to be with my guru a little more years. And that's exactly what we are trying to do through this selection process. Not really to differentiate any one artist from the other, but to inculcate that need and the necessity of practicing an art form very sincerely. And that's only the reason that we have this registration process. And year after year, we see that there are some people who come back who were maybe not selected in previous years, and I see there's huge difference in the way they perform and their videos that they send us. And there you go. That's exactly what we wanted to do through the selection process. And I would say that it just needs being very sincere to what we are doing for our art form and nothing else.
For sure. Dedication, discipline, and passion.
Yeah, and Bharatanatyam or any classical art form takes years and years of practice and like Deepika said, discipline. So when you see all the hard work you've done over, maybe a decade, that's what most of us do before we may do an Arangetram, and coming onto the stage and showcasing your performance to the audience to show what they're capable of, it's a proud moment for them and for their gurus. So we want to use that to continue to inspire the next generation of artists.
Beautiful. And then finally, guys, for everyone who's watching and those who wants to attend this beautiful evening, Natyanjali, can you please share where they can purchase a ticket to be part of this beautiful evening, fully and purely, I think, dedicated to Lord Shiva, bringing different type of dance in one stage?
So it's happening on March 28th, just like Nirupa said in the beginning. It's happening in the Ahuntsic College Auditorium, and it will start from 3:30. Doors open from 3 o'clock. You can purchase the tickets from Param.ca. You will get all this information if you're following our page, which is Param Arts and Montreal Natyanjali Facebook and Instagram page. If you are a sponsor or a community member who loves art and would like to support art, please come forward to support us, donate us, because what you give is what you're going to give to the artist to survive, to sustain, and to be even more performing this kind of art forms more often. Having said that, looking forward to see you all on March 28th. A special note to Montamil and our dear Nirupa for giving us this opportunity for the sharing a little bit more about Montreal Natyanjali today.
Thank you very much, Nirupa. Thank you very much, Montamil.
Thank you, and I wish you guys all the best. If you're an art lover, particularly a classical dance lover, you must be part of Natyanjali. Thank you, guys. Thank you for being part of our show.
Thank you.